I'm Taylor Zarzour, and this is the OTP.
Are you ready for that smoke going with Dave McGinnis back to Arizona?
I love going everywhere with that guy.
You are not going to be able to walk 6 inches without talking to somebody. And there's the hugs, and then there's the subsequent conversation. It's going to take you 5 hours to get from the loading dock to the booth.
I feel like Nashville, Chicago, and Glendale or Phoenix or Scottsdale are probably the 3 places where you feel that the most. But let's be honest, Coach Mack is a legend everywhere throughout the NFL. You're wearing a really cool Houston Oilers. Is that a starter jacket? What is that?
It's got some starter jacket vibes. I don't know if it's like an official starter jacket.
Okay.
But this was a team store model maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was given to me by our merchandise crew, and I just love them. And they make sure that I look decent and have like the coolest stuff.
No, I love it. It's very
nice. But
I
love it, and it's very comfy, and it like keeps me warm in a chilly building. So I feel very cool.
I reference it because Coach Mack in Houston is also a story. Like Coach Mack wherever you go is a story. And he went to a great Tex-Mex place on Saturday night. I was not there in time. I had quite the weekend.
You did have quite the weekend.
But Will Bowling was there, and Will was still feeling the effects of a wonderful meal on Saturday night. So it was the best meal of his life.
Oh, yeah?
On Saturday night.
I'll tell you what. Anywhere you go, Coach Mack can find the best Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
And it's not just in Texas, definitely in Texas, but all over the place. You'll have to go with him in Arizona as well because there is phenomenal food in Phoenix. He took me to a lovely brunch once, like on top of a mountain. Like these are the things that only Dave McGinnis knows. And Mac makes sure you eat right. It was probably also the spiciest meal that Will Bowling has ever eaten because the man just hot sauce on everything.
Yeah. I watched him eat some of your hot chips a few weeks ago, and it had no impact on him whatsoever.
He'd put Tabasco on him if he could. It's wild.
Yeah, I did. I had a crazy weekend, and I'm glad to see the other side of it. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I went to the Ryder Cup. Will Bowling went to the Ryder Cup. We actually have some other people that work actually in the room next to you. My man Adam. Went to the Ryder Cup for a few days over the weekend, so he was there. So the Tennessee Titans were represented at the Ryder Cup. We almost had a thrilling comeback in the Ryder Cup, but Europe beat the United States of America.
Yeah.
There were a few of us in the back of the Titans team bus watching on Sunday afternoon. And unfortunately, we fell just a bit short as Europe wins 15-13. Tip your cap to the Europeans. And if we have any Titans that are Europeans, congratulations.
Yep.
Saturday, I watched the Vanderbilt Commodores. Did you know that Brian Callahan was in Clark Lee's wedding?
You know, I didn't know that. I knew they were friends. I didn't know how close they were. That's pretty close. Yeah. That's about as close as you can get. Yeah.
Clark, of course, the head coach of the 5-0 Vanderbilt Commodores. And Coach Callie and Clark are close buddies. Vandy is part of College Game Day, albeit on the road in Tuscaloosa this weekend as they play the Crimson Tide.
That's going to be a fun game to watch.
I bet you cheer for Vandy in that game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you don't cheer for Alabama, do you?
I don't normally know, but I mean,
there aren't a lot of people. Well, actually,
there are a lot of people.
There actually are a lot of Alabama people that are in Nashville.
But if you're in the SEC and you're not a part of Alabama, you typically don't cheer for Alabama because they're like the dynasty teams. It's like the Chiefs now or the Patriots of yesteryear or whatever. Like, it's just like, come on, let someone else have a chance.
That's right.
And Vanderbilt is such a come up story.
And of course, there's so many Titans fans that are Vandy fans. So
yeah, and it makes Jim Wyatt just so happy.
It does.
You guys.
He is in a good spot right now when it comes to Vandy. And then from there, flew to Houston. And Rhett Bryan joined me, by the way. Rhett was part of the SEC Network team this past Saturday. He did a great job.
So cool.
I'm a little concerned about how great of a job he did and how well he fit in with our TV team on Saturday. You would have just been beside yourself.
Rhett is a chameleon.
Yes,
he
is.
Everywhere.
He made everybody laugh very quickly. That's what he does. And anyways, from there, Rhett and I went to Houston, and then, of course, took in the Titans-Texans game. And it was a bummer, Amie. I mean, it really was. I had a good feeling about it, too. I love the way the Titans came out and competed on Sunday on the first drive. Unfortunate, Joey Sly misses a field goal there in the first drive. And right before the halftime, missed another one. that would have made the score 6-3. You're right there. Defense played hard. Jeff Simmons is playing incredible football in the first half.
Holy smokes.
Cedric Gray, tackling machine on Sunday. It's a one-score game going into the fourth quarter, and that's when it got away from the Titans after that. And it's really disappointing to be shut out. First time it's happened in 6 years. So, yeah, look, I'll just say this, and we're going to give Coach Callahan the floor, and certainly I want to give you the floor too. When you're building a roster, you're going to have days like that. That's just part of the deal. Now, that doesn't mean the Titans aren't fully committed to winning as they build this roster. Very much want to win games, and it stings. It hurts. It hurts for all the people that are connected to it. All of us that are affiliated with the organization feel that, especially the players and the coaching staff. You just really feel for them because they're putting so much work into this. But this is a developing team, and there are going to be days where developing players don't play to the standard they want as they're learning, and there are going to be days where you're like, man, I am so glad we've got these guys. These guys are going to be incredible as time goes on. It was the latter, unfortunately, on Sunday.
Growing is hard.
Yeah.
Growing is hard, and establishing a new identity, establishing a new everything for a team is really hard. And I know we say that all the time, right? Like we have the conversation like, man, it's going to be a tough road to climb. But then you see people kind of have some success and you're like, well, I mean, what is hard? This is hard. Rebuilding an entire roster, coaching staff, essentially, they're still very young, still trying to figure out their cadence and what they're doing. Personnel group had a lot of changes. All of that new doesn't just come together overnight. It doesn't just come together in a single football season. It doesn't come together in 2-3 football seasons. Like the teams that you see having success now are having that success because they went through the hard times.
Right.
And we forget about that because you see the teams with success and you're like, well, they've always been good. Well, yeah, but like before they were always good, air quotes, they were really struggling too. That is the circle of life in football. And you've got to grind through those parts to get to the good parts. That's just how it is. And so we see all of the good things. We see the bright spots. We see Jeffrey Simmons making a sack in 2.09 seconds.
That is one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
We rewound it at my house. I was at home and literally rewound the television to watch it because it was so fast. It was crazy. But like, we have those things. We have a rookie class that is so involved so early, which is great. They are performing. They are working together to establish the foundation that in 5 years will be this team.
No doubt.
Is standing on saying, oh, well, they've always been good.
Right.
You know? And that's what we have to remember. The things that are happening now are good. The things that are happening now are right. The things that are happening now are really hard.
And I was trying to find the right year to support what you were saying. The Kansas City Chiefs of certainly of this decade, the 2020s, the 20s.
Were built in what, 2013?
They were built in 2012. Mm-hmm. The Kansas City Chiefs went 2-14.
Yep.
And yeah, they were built in 2012. Mm-hmm. Mike Borgonzi, by the way, was part of that organization then, the general manager of the Tennessee Titans now. And they went 2-14. Mm-hmm. And I imagine that was a really hard thing to go through for their fans and for everyone connected to the team. But after they went 2-14, they very quickly went to the playoffs, and they've been a perennial contender since. The next year, they went 11-5, and off they went. Now, who knows how long it takes with each rebuild? It's a different story, but yeah, that's a great point you make, Amie, because yeah, I don't think that people remember that. Really? The Kansas City Chiefs went 2-14? Yes, in 2012.
Kansas City Chiefs were not great when, I lived there for a very long time, and they were not the dynasty that we have now. They were kind of just like a team. That's it. It just is what it is. I'm not trying to be mean, although you guys know how I feel about the Chiefs. But it's the circle of life in the NFL. You cannot be a contender all the time.
Right.
That is how the league is built. Right now, this Titans team, is figuring out what the not just next year, 2 years, what the next 10 years are going to look like.
Right.
That's what's being built right now. And you've got to slug through this to get to the good parts.
Yes, you do. And let's hope that those good parts happen in
sooner rather than later.
Yeah, let's hope they happen in Arizona. And I, again, just want to reiterate that the team is totally committed to that. They desperately want to win a football game and are doing everything they can think of to do it. I'm going to talk to Coach Callahan about this. Amie, I really love having a quarterback that cares as much as Cam Ward does. I think he's super talented, and I think that people have seen examples of that talent in the first 4 weeks. They certainly saw the talent on display at the collegiate level, and this wasn't his best performance. He'd be the first. In fact, he did tell you that after the game. But I really appreciated how candid he was after the game and how much it matters to him, because you can tell this guy hates going through it, and he wants to do everything he can to change it.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes him a good leader.
Yeah.
I think that guys respect the honesty. I think that guys respect the candor. And I think that that's why he's able to connect with so many different people. Look, I've said it from the day that I met Cam Ward. He's the coolest guy I've ever met. And I mean that in the way that he carries himself and the way that he interacts with people is just so organic. And he does a great job of meeting people where they are, leveling with them, and then telling them what they need to know, whether they really want to hear it or not.
Right.
But I think that's what makes him such a relatable guy, is that he'll just say it. And he says it in a way that's not to cause harm. He's not being malicious. He's stating the facts so that you know where we all stand here. Like, there's no gray area with Cam Ward. You know where you stand with him. And I think that that's a really good leadership quality. And I think that's what is ultimately going to make him successful, is that guys in the locker room know where they stand with Cam Ward. Like, they know what's up. They know how he feels. They know where he feels like there needs to be a better play or where there need to be changes, what things need to be addressed. And so I think having a guy that's so young that already knows that and is able to fill that part of it is incredibly valuable. And so then it's filling in the rest of it. It's getting the offense to all work together. It's getting all of the things to fire on all cylinders. And, I mean, he listed out a laundry list of things that need to be better, including himself. Like, he took that ownership. I need to play better. I need to make sure that this is working. The same as the offensive line, the same as the receivers, the same as the defensive line. I mean, he went through everything. And that to me, is a good leader.
Last thing I want to say to you, Amie, is you care so deeply about this organization. It's your livelihood, but it's personal to you, and you've been around it for over a decade now. And I just want to tell you that I'm feeling that. And it when you travel with these guys and girls, when you see the whole organization, when you travel together with these men and women who care so deeply about it, you care so deeply about it, and you want it for them. You really do. And I will say this: I am really proud of how much everyone cares and how invested everyone is to getting this thing turned around. And I firmly believe they will. But it's just cool to now live your life, the life you've been living for so long, and seeing how much it means to all the people in the organization.
It becomes so much more. And people come up to me all the time, and, because I'm 88% of the time wearing Titan stuff. So
or Oilers. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a very easy conversation starter.
Right.
But people will come up to me a lot and be like, "Oh man, tough loss," and "Oh man, that sucks." But the difference is, frankly, you lose and then you go back to your life. As a Titans fan, for most of them, is you lose the game, and then it's like, well, turn the TV off, and then that loss goes away. For the people in this building, the coaches, the players, but also the staff who
it is their life.
Work here, this is it.
Yes.
So you understand why people get so upset, why there's so much passion, why you see those moments in a press conference or on the field or on the sidelines, or you get it because you don't turn it off here. We live in it all week long. And when things are going great, it's the best. And when things are hard, it's hard. And you understand that. You buckle up every Every July, you look yourself in the mirror and you go, am I getting on this ride again? And the answer is always yes, because there's no other way to be. But you feel it deeply, no matter what. If you're in this building, if you're part of this team, part of this family, day in, day out, you feel it really deeply, both the good and the bad.
I'm proud to be on the ride with you, my friend.
It's a fun ride. It really is. We'll get there.
Yes, we will.
When you bring Hellman's Creamy Buffalo Chicken Dip to the watch party, you can cheer too loud, or block the TV, or be a couch coach, and no one will eject you from the game. That's a Hail Mayo. Hellman's, the official mayo of the Tennessee Titans. This summer, SeatGeek has your ticket to the best live concerts in Nashville at Nissan Stadium. SeatGeek makes it easy to catch world-conquering tours and high-wattage performances from your favorite artists all summer long. SeatGeek has the best seat, your seat, for an unforgettable summer. From rock royalty to rap superstars, R&B to country, find it all on SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of Nissan Stadium. It's your summer. Make it count. SeatGeek. Hey Titans fans, with a Kroger Boost membership, you'll score big with double fuel points, free delivery, and lots more. Go to Kroger.com/boost for details. Kroger, the official grocer of the Tennessee Titans. Tighten up.
Coach, I know that going through these, especially what you went through Sunday, is never any fun. It's a painful experience to go through. You're developing a roster, but you want to see results too.
Yeah, I think we all want to see results. I think our fans want to see results too. And there's nobody in our building that's trying harder than the players and coaches downstairs in the locker room and in the coaching wing, that we're putting everything we have into it and trying to find a way to get better, to find ways to improve. And there's definitely some areas that's very possible.
And I think one of the things that I've learned in the first month of the season is how pleased you've been with practice on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. And you've been on teams that have gone to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl, and you've had a lot of experience watching teams carry over good weeks of practice to the field on Sunday. Is that the thing that's kind of just you're scratching your head about right now?
Yeah, that's been the hardest thing to grapple with through these first 4 weeks is that, I thought we had a really good training camp. I thought we did a lot of things the right way. I feel the same way with how we practice during the week and the effort that we get, the performance that we get in practice. We just got to find where the disconnect is between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's been our biggest issue, is that there's plenty of things that show up in practice that are excellent, and we got to get those things to translate to Sunday. And that's our job, is to figure that out, because and then we have moments really of brilliance over the course of games too, and we've been in some pretty good battles. We got to find a way to make those plays that need to be made at the end of the game to put us in a better position. And thus far, we've made the play that loses us the game, where we've turned the ball over twice now in the fourth quarter, that in 1-score games, that now all of a sudden kick it to a 3-score game, or take it out of a 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 point margin to 11, 10, 11, 14, where now it just opens up the gap and it makes it a lot harder to come back. And that's where we're missing a little bit of our teeth, is that in those moments where we got to make the play to win, we've not done that. And then we've also put ourselves in much worse position to lose because of some of those things.
Yeah, I know that you've been saying this a lot in recent weeks, is you got to get out of 3rd and 12 plus. And you were telling me off the air, one of the ways that you do that is having a better first down. And you had a number of good first and second downs that got you into Texans territory on Sunday. What do you think is the most fixable thing about that right now?
Well, our efficiencies, we need to have more consistency in our efficiency on early downs, on first, second down. And when you get to those spots where we've been in, we found ourselves in that fringe area of the field quite a bit, in that, plus 50, plus 40 range, where we're sort of on field goal fringe in that spot. And we've either went backwards or taken a sack or done something that puts us in a 3rd and 8, 9, 10, 11 at the 40.
Right.
And those are hard down and distances to convert. Around the league, that's usually about a 15% conversion rate, I think. And look league wide, so the odds are not necessarily in your favor at those spots. And we've got to do a better job of keeping ourselves in manageable spots and then earning that next first down through that fringe area into the red zone. We haven't had enough red zone trips. We've stalled out quite a bit in that midfield area, that fringe area where we've kicked some field goals where, we'd like to find a way to get another set of downs. We need one more good earned first down to put us on the 30 or the 20, and now we're in a little bit better scoring position. So our efficiency can certainly improve in those areas, and some of that comes with running the ball well. Some of that comes with being more decisive and more accurate with the ball in the passing game, and then, protecting the quarterback better than we have in those spots.
As it relates to Cam Ward, I know, as you just said, it's not all on him, and you probably would disagree a little bit with all the responsibility he took after the game. But do you appreciate what he said after the game and how much it matters to him?
Yeah, it shows that he cares. He wants to win as bad as everybody else does, and he wants our fans and the people that support our football team to know that this means a lot to him, and he wants it to go well, and he wants to win football games. And that's the type of person you want playing quarterback for you, where it matters to them. It hurts them to their soul when they don't win a football game. And Cam and I are very similar in that regard, and that's what you hope to have, is a bunch of people that are determined to fight their way out.
He's learning how to be a pro quarterback. It feels like just the hardest adjustment, going from junior high to high school or high school to college. I'm not trying to say that isn't a transition. It is one. But going from college to professional football just feels like the biggest transition.
It's so different.
Yeah.
The style of play is so different. The caliber of players every week. The best way I would describe it, like for people that are, that don't get it, it's like it's like you're playing in the SEC and you're playing Alabama every week. You're playing the best players on the planet every week. And there is no breaks. There's no easy games. There's no cupcakes on your schedule. Everybody in this league can play. Everybody's got good coaches. Everybody has a salary cap. They all pay their players. And every week you have to come out and be ready to play at that level to win the game. And there's a learning curve in that for especially for a young quarterback. You start to understand every team can rush the passer. Every team has a tough blitz package. Every team has good DBs. That's what the NFL is, and that's why we all enjoy playing it, because it's competition at the highest level. But there is a learning curve for young quarterbacks and understanding how to play quarterback at this level. And the biggest thing that Cam's learning right now too is that he doesn't, the ground hurts and these hits hurt, and you're trying to figure out, how do I play faster, quicker, better, so I can eliminate 1, sacks, and then 2, just keep the offense moving so we don't end up taking shots that we don't need to take.
I don't want to get too off topic here, but since you did say you don't play Alabama every week, a very good friend of yours is playing Alabama this week.
I know. I've talked to him a few times already this week, so yeah.
The head coach of the undefeated 5-0 Vanderbilt Commodores.
Yeah, side note, very proud of Clark and the job that they're doing at Vandy. He's an outstanding football coach, even better person, and he's a confidant of mine and someone that I lean on for a lot of different things in the head coaching realm.
I can tell you it goes both ways, too. I called his game last week on television, and he spent a lot of time talking about you and how much he believes in you. So
Appreciate that. Thanks, Clark.
I know that's a friendship that means a great deal to you. Coach, how do you acknowledge where we're at right now as an organization and concentrate on how to improve?
That's the only thing we think about. We know we are what our record says we are. We're 0-4. We have not played up to our capability. We have not played a good enough brand of football that people want to come support and see, and we're fighting like crazy to get ourselves out of this hole that we're in. But I will say that I love the way our team approaches it, and we got a bunch of guys that are willing to do that. And all we got to do is get one. That's really where we're at. You can't win 3 games in 1 week. You got to get one. And we got to be laser focused on going to Arizona and playing good football in Arizona and try to pick up a win against a good competitive Arizona team. And I think that's our only focus. That's the only thing we can think about is how do we best do that this week, and what do we have to do better from the week before. There really is no shortcut, and there is no secret to that. We just have to do things, communicate better, execute better, coach better. All that stuff has to be a part of it.
You're a big golf fan, so am I. And, of course, the Ryder Cup was this past weekend, and it did not go well for the American team on Friday and Saturday. And there was a lot of reaction to how it didn't go well. I'm sure you were, too. I know you didn't get to see any of it. But everyone was so impressed with the Americans' rally on Sunday. They played for today. Mm-hmm. They didn't think about what happened yesterday or the day before or listen to everyone in the noise. They played for today. That's exactly what you're wanting from your team.
That's a great analogy and great sport crossover imagery for people. That's what you hope to do. And you can't dwell on what's happened. You can try to fix it, but all you can do is keep pushing forward. And there's another opportunity coming this week. And with that too, it's a little even one more level lower. As we talk about the cycle of the snap all the time, where you really have to play as it's one play, and then you move on to the next one, and then you move on to the next one, and you can't really dwell on whether that play was good or bad. You can just kind of check in, say, yeah, I did my job there, or maybe I didn't, and then you move on to the next snap. And if you do that over 60 snaps during a game, usually you're going to put yourself in a pretty good spot, and that's the mindset of most professional athletes, and I think football is a very much has to be that way, where you're tunnel visioned on what's in front of you, and you can't really worry too much about what people say or how they say it. You can't worry about what your mom and dad tell you. You have to go take your medicine sometimes, fix what you got to fix, and keep your head pointed forward, and as they say, keep your blinders on and just keep looking forward.
And that's not lip service from you. That's coming from somebody that's lived this your entire life.
Yep.
You said your mom and your dad. Your mom and your dad have lived that their entire lives. And
I do take their advice. So
that's right.
Yeah.
You're in a little different situation, though, being in the football business as much as the Callahans always have been. Can you just describe to everybody that's listening, given your own experiences, of what it feels like when it does turn?
It's the most rewarding feeling you can have as a coach, and that's when you get a player to the point where they break through on maybe something that you've been trying to get them to do or work on, and then all of a sudden it shows up in a big moment. But that feeling of the work that it takes to get to this point and to get to the breakthrough, I've been a part of it a few different times, and it's tremendously rewarding to see the work come to fruition and validate the process and how you do things. And it's not easy. I mean, look, we won 6 games in 2 years in Cincinnati. I mean, we were 6-24, I think, in 2 seasons. So I know what this. I've lived this. I've gone down this road before. I understand what it feels like, and let me tell you, it is not very fun. But when you just sort of stick at it and you keep hammering on the things that you need to get better at, and those moments come, and you break through and you win the game, and you win 2 or 3 or 4, and then all of a sudden you look up, you got a pretty good team. That's what makes coaching fun. That's why we do it, is for those types of moments and those challenges to see if we can't get it to break through. And trust me, we're down there swinging our swords about as hard and as fast as you can swing them to try to get ourselves to that spot.
After 6-24, I just want to make sure everybody understands this. The team became a championship level team, and the Cincinnati Bengals, as when you were the offense coordinator, went to the Super Bowl. So you've lived this before. This weekend you play the Arizona Cardinals, Coach. I've heard a lot of people say you got to keep Kyler Murray in the pocket, keep him between the tackles. Yep. How true is that?
It is. He's a dynamic playmaker. He's got a great ability to create outside of structure and make plays with his feet and make throws on the move. And he's not the biggest stature quarterback, and so he does excel when he's outside of the structure. And you want to try to keep him in it as much as possible. That's a lot easier said than done. He tends to do that to a lot of people. But that's how you have to play, and you got to make sure you don't give him opportunities to extend plays and create outside of the pocket, because he's exceptional at it. Yeah,
there's no doubt he is, and of course that's a really good offense, and I know you have a lot of respect for their play caller and their coaching staff. What about their defense, Coach?
Unique defense, unique scheme. There's probably not a lot of teams that play the way that they play. I think Nick Rallis, their defensive coordinator, is really, really sharp young coordinator. Does some stuff that's a little bit unorthodox schematically, just in terms of how they disguise coverages and how they rotate, and they make things look very similar and muddy. And it'll be a challenge for us offensively. It's a challenge to target in the run game the right way. It's a challenge to decipher the pass coverage post snap. So there's going to have to be a lot of work put into that, and a lot of tape that we have to watch to do that.
Home is at the forefront of all we do. It's why we're so committed to caring for the places and spaces in which we work and live. Ashley, the official furniture provider of the Tennessee Titans. Genesis is the first and only official jeweler of the Titans, having earned that title since 2006. Titans players, coaches, and fans trust Genesis for the absolute best in selection, quality, customer service, and of course, value. For diamonds, engagement rings, designer fashion jewelry, and the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in Tennessee, Genesis is the hands-down winner. Genesis Diamonds in Green Hills and Cool Springs, the official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans. Little Caesars is the official pizza partner of your Tennessee Titans. Download the Little Caesars app and get your favorites delivered today. Delivery fees apply. Now back to the OTP.
The biggest challenge for you these next few days, Coach, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, before you fly to Arizona, what will your message be to your team?
Well, similar to last week in that, we're backs up against the wall, and we gotta swing our way out. There's no shortcut to it. There's nothing that's gonna just jumpstart us other than us doing the things that we need to do to win. And how we prepare, the way we practice, we got to get it to carry over to the games. But your back's against the wall, and you got to ball your fist up and start swinging away. There's no other way to do it, and I think they're up to the task. One
last thing to ask you about is health. Any update there, Coach, on players we might see on Sunday?
I know the one that's exciting the most is Tajay Spears. Should open up his window and hopefully have a chance to see him this week. We'll see how practice goes, but it'd be nice for Tony to get a complimentary back to help out a little bit and take some load off. Other than that, that's the main one. Would love to see, I think Kevin Winston's getting closer, which is exciting. So hopefully see his workload increase this week and see how that responds. And then, we'll see on JC. It'd be great to get JC back this week, but that remains to be seen.
Kevin Winston, third-round draft pick. I know everybody's really high on him and would love to see him make his debut very soon. JC Latham, the right tackle that we haven't seen in a couple of weeks, but that's great news about the possibility of seeing Tajay back there and complimenting Tony Pollard, because he has just run so hard so far this year.
Yeah, he's been a huge bright spot for us offensively, probably our most consistent performer, and really has run with some authority for his stature and run really hard. That's been something that we've needed, and he plays with. He plays the way we need him to play, and the type of person that he is shows up in his play style.
Pollard Spears, 1-2 punch. Love to see it.
Would love to see it.
Coach, thank you so much, as always, for your time. Look forward to the trip out to Arizona.
Great.
All right.
Thank you.
For Brian Callahan, I'm Taylor Zarzour. This has been the OTP.